Yo, welcome back. This is your boy T Magic, and we are here live post-fight analysis of Tim Bradley versus Manny Pacquiao 3. All right. Even when this fight was made, the talks of maybe Manny Pacquiao versus Amir Khan, and Manny Pacquiao, late interest opponent Adrian Broner, and then Manny Pacquiao versus Tim Bradley. The one I did not want to see was Manny Pacquiao versus Tim Bradley, because we already saw it 2 times, and a lot of people eyes Manny Pacquiao won. So in the beginning of this, the main event, when I believe Tim Bradley was walking out first, and I was thinking to myself, like, why are these 2 guys fighting for the 3rd time? I just couldn't wrap my hands around it, but either way, I was already mentally invested, financially invested, into finding out the outcome of this fight. So I believe Tim Bradley won the WBO belt, could be wrong, and this was what Manny Pacquiao was fighting for, the WBO belt. So Manny Pacquiao comes up the ring second. They both in the ring, the announcers, all this, let's get ready to fight, blah, blah, blah. So I guess the real question was in this fight was, could Teddy Atlas change Tim Bradley enough to give him the edge in the boxing ability to do what he didn't do clearly in the first time, we'll call it that, and he was not able to pull off in the second time, and that's the ability to box, to move, to use angles, and do not get caught up in exchanges. Could a trainer do that? From personal experience with fighters that are new, I would say more yes. With fighters that's been more seasoned, fought for a while, typically what happens, not all the time, typically what happens is once they're hit, they revert back to what they know. So if these guys were sluggers and now they're being boxers and they get hit, they go back to sluggers. If they're boxers and trying to be sluggers, the moment they hit, they go back to trying to box. You go back to what's your safety net. Well, let's get right down to the fight. Okay, we're going to start with round 1. Ding. All right, both fighters come out. It seemed like a true feel-out round. What I'm used to with Manny Pacquiao is maybe for the first minute and a half, it's a feel-out, and then he would test his opponent maybe at the last 10 to 15, 20 seconds of the round with some quick punches to see what he can get in there. What we saw was Tim Bradley definitely looked like he did not want to exchange. He stayed in his boxing. He stayed at a nice distance, and he tried to use his jab. The one thing I would say about his jab that I did not like, it was more like a touch jab and not a fearing jab. A touch jab is something you just kind of throwing out there, you're feeling, or you're range finding, and your opponent is not scared of that. Now, when you throw a jab, when you're stepping into it, you throwing that shot, or you really mean to hit him, that's what typically gets your opponent attention a whole lot more. Well, either way, for the first maybe, 1, 2, maybe 3 or 4 rounds, it was pretty much like this. Nobody was really dominating. I think they gave, Manny Pacquiao the edge most of the time. Tim Bradley output from the first fight to second fight was a lot higher than his third fight. His output was not as much, but when you listen from hearing from the announcers, Roy Jones Jr. and others, they were saying that, well, there's more quality punches, and he's putting together more powerful punches, stronger punches, and different things to make up a reason why he just wasn't putting it out more. Me, obviously, I think he knows about the counter punching or getting caught up in exchanges. His output wasn't because he was just, throwing harder and stronger punches. It was more, I guess he was trying to do what Teddy Atlas say. Throw fewer punches, 1, 2, 3 punches, use the angles, step out on the side, and it did work for a while. But with Manny Pacquiao, one thing that people say, and they try to judge Manny Pacquiao off of, is his last fight. Yes, I know, we all know you are as good as your last fight, but when your last fight is with somebody who is arguably the best this generation, okay, we're not going to go history, we'll say this generation, or maybe even the past generation, has seen. Arguably, we're talking about none other than Floyd, Money Mayweather, Pretty Boy Floyd, whatever you want to call the man. Okay, Mayweather has an attribute about itself of making people not look their best, not landing punches. He take the strongest strengths away, and he make him look weak. Okay, he just mastered it. So when he fought Tim Bradley, and what I said in my last post is, do not judge Manny Pacquiao off that fight. I think Manny Pacquiao looked a lot better. I would say he was timid. He was not that ferocious, going in here first, that killer. He lost his killer instincts, and I think Juan Manuel Marquez is the reason behind that. He wanted to kill Juan Manuel Marquez so bad that he jumped in there with less than 10 seconds to go in the 6th round, and he was knocked in a dream within a dream within a dream that was a nightmare. All right. So let's get back to this fight. Okay, like things really start turning up for this fight around the 7th round. Manny Pacquiao, of course, like I said, he started his in and out punching. You know, there was kind of trading shots here and there, and it looks like Manny Pacquiao tried to throw like a lead left. It got blocked by Tim Bradley gloves, and then he came around with a shot, and I think maybe threw. Could have been left hand, I'm not sure. And he went around the glove and he caught Tim Bradley with a shot. He stepped around. Tim Bradley kind of went down. His gloves touched. That's a knock down. Okay? So now we're going to get to the 8th round. You got Tim Bradley coming out there. And, you know, he's showing that he really wasn't hurt. And, you know, he threw some punches out there. And I believe he threw a hook. And it came around and it caught Manny Pacquiao in the jaw. And I believe he threw another shot to come around to catch Manny Pacquiao as well. And it seemed that Manny Pacquiao was hurt. You seen him bouncing back. You seen him moving. You seen him, you know, doing what Manny Pacquiao doesn't do. He's going backward. You see Tim Bradley pressing the action, and he actually went forward. He was throwing a lot more punches. Well, I was watching this fight with some others, and they were saying, you know, why doesn't he keep going? You should get a second win and try to finish it off. I said, you know what? I like, you do get that killer instinct when you see someone hurt, but if you haven't been in a ring, so sometimes when you're throwing those punches and the other person wraps you up and the referee breaks you, when you pull away, the real fatigue and mental sets on you. It's like you had all this energy, then you break and like, holy shit, what the hell happened? I gotta pace myself because I believe I almost punched myself out. So a lot of times we see a fighter back off like that because they pretty much punched out at the time. I believe that's probably what happened with Tim Bradley. Well, 8th round, Tim Bradley took clearly. Okay, so now we got some action kicked off. 7th round, Manny Pacquiao got a knockdown, gloves touch. 8th round, Tim Bradley comes back, hurts Manny Pacquiao. Say, you know what? Whatever you got that medicine from in the 7th round, they serve the same medicine at Walgreens, CVS, and I'm gonna give you just a little bit of that as well. Well, now we go into the 9th round. All right, the 9th round is where Manny Pacquiao says, hey, I don't go to CVS. I get mine straight from overseas from the real doctor, baby. Take some of this. Wow! You know, and he throws a lead left hand, and Tim Bradley weaves it. And he was able to recover and throw a left with that left hook with that hand as well. Now, I don't know about a lot of fighters, but that is very hard, okay? I'm going to do it from the orthodox position with the right hand. You know, when you throw a shot and you miss someone, you know, a lot of people is not in a good boxing position. That's why we always teach, or always say, when I talk about Terrence Crawford's last video, was his stance of being always in a good boxing posture. And he threw the shot and he missed it badly, but he was able to recover and generate enough power with a hook to hit Tim Bradley with a shot that was sideways, and it hit him, knocked him over his butt, made him roll over, do a whole flip, okay? And Tim Bradley was never able to recover. At this point, it was pretty much Manny Pacquiao just taking control. I mean, you hear Tanny Atlas in the corner saying, you know, basically touch him up top and then come around a corner, something in that nature. basically trying to say, like throw some shots up here to get on the block and then try to come around, maybe feint with a right then come around. Different things, to try to get your opponent to think one thing while doing another. But this just was not Tim Bradley night. So it goes all 12 rounds, no one get knocked out. There was some action in the later rounds with Manny Pacquiao pulling out the victory and the new WBO 5 different weight classes. Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao. All right, so now he's five-time WBO, 5 different weight classes, and what a lot of people was waiting for was the post-fight interview. All right, and we got Manny Pacquiao first. Everything that I heard from Manny Pacquiao was that he really wasn't planning on coming back. I believe they may have talked about, they touched on the fight with Mayweather. It just don't seem like he's wanting to come back. You see Max Kellerman there pretty much all trying to persuade him to come back after the performance that he just put on with Tim Bradley. It just didn't look like Manny Pacquiao was going to have it. So the Mayweather talks and maybe other talks for Manny Pacquiao. Let's just say Mayweather's retired. But there's some fighters out there. You got Keith Thurman. You got Sean Porter. You got Amir Khan. You got Kell Brooks. You got Adrian Broner, who's moving up, who got caught. I didn't do that video, but I do have that coming maybe tomorrow. All right. So after he did his interview, you got Tim Bradley standing there waiting patiently. Before they transferred over to Tim Bradley, him and Manny Pacquiao talking about meeting at the Mandalay Bay for breakfast, and Max Kellerman trying to get which restaurant they're going to be at. And then Tim Bradley had his interview, and it's basically him just giving a prop that, he got beat by Manny Pacquiao. I thought something was very slick that Max Kellerman said, because he was asking Tim Bradley about when he got knocked down. Tim Bradley was like, honestly, I don't remember. I really don't remember. And that could be the case. He could have been hit with a concussion that can give you those temporary memory loss because he got hit with some shots. But Max Kellerman said, if you don't remember, we got the replay to show you. Like, God damn, do you really want to see yourself? Because they showed the first knockdown really wasn't that bad. And they showed the second knockdown, we hear Tim Bradley in the background, they showing it with the sound effect. Whoo, damn, caught him with that one, and he knocked him down, and he just gave him props. But hey, there you have it. Manny Pacquiao, love him, hate him, like him, walking the line. The guy is a legend. He gave his all to the sport. We do not see him again. Farewell, my good friend. Good journey.